Welcome back. I'm talking with Dwight Johnson, who is the Ada County Republican Central Committee Chairman, and we're talking about the fact that in Idaho, for the first time in our history, we actually have a caucus, a presidential caucus, and what that means and how you can participate and what it means in terms of registering, because we've never had to register by party before.
Right.
So for those who may have just tuned in, Dwight, the process is?
Ada County Republican Presidential Caucus will be held on Tuesday, March 6th, 7 p.m. at the Taco Bell Arena, 7 p.m. at the Idaho Center in Canyon County. So for all Ada County Republicans, we invite them to come down to the Taco Bell Arena that night and participate in a historic first-time Republican Presidential Caucus in Idaho.
And for all the other counties, how do they find out if I'm in Butte County, I'm in Boundary County, I'm in Bonner, how do I find out?
They need to call their local county Republican chairman.
Okay.
Or they can call 208-343-6405, the state party headquarters, and talk to them.
Okay, good. Now, you wanted to talk a little bit about...
Well, there's two other things. Obviously, the Taco Bell Arena is not inexpensive to rent, and so we're in a fundraising mode to pay for that, as well as to raise money for our Republican candidates to support them after the May primary to the general election. And so there's a couple of opportunities that we think are a lot of fun. One is former Governor Mike Huckabee, who was a presidential candidate 4 years ago, is going to be in Idaho the Sunday before the caucus on March 4th, 1 p.m. at the Idaho Center.
Okay.
And that's going to be a family, fun, friendly event with music and just talking about how to be involved. It's called the Vote for America Rally. And it's a wonderful opportunity. It only costs $10 per person, so it's a real family-centered event, and we just want to encourage everybody to come down. You can go at www.ictickets.com, which is the Idaho Center ticket venue. We'd ask everybody to put in GPI in the order code to designate that they're Republicans and purchase a ticket there. The other thing we've done is we've minted a commemorative Presidential Caucus coin.
Oh.
It's a beautiful bronze coin with Abraham Lincoln on the head side, and on the reverse side, it's the territorial seal of Idaho, because Abraham Lincoln was the president when Idaho became a territory. And so it's a beautiful bronze coin. For $10, you can purchase a coin. You can go online at adacountyrepublicans.com and download the order form and purchase a coin, or you can purchase them at the Huckabee event or at the caucus itself.
Okay.
We'll be selling those coins. So it's a wonderful opportunity to have a piece of history and own a piece of history, and it's a fundraiser for us as well.
All right, and so hopefully everybody got those websites on...
It's adacountyrepublicans.com. We've got everything listed there.
Okay, wonderful, so they can get all of the information.
Right.
All right, is there anything else people need to understand about this?
We're really excited. You have to be a registered Republican to come, but you can register at the event or at that website. You can download a registration card, fill it out, and bring it with you, so that'll speed things up getting in the door into the caucus.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for explaining this to us.
We're excited about it.
You know what? While you're here, since you are also here in the capacity as working for the Department of Labor as the workforce administrator, talk a little bit about unemployment, employment, and what we have going on here in the Treasure Valley, and certainly the Magic Valley has got some exciting things going on. How do we stack up and what's going on?
Well, the last half of 2011, we finally saw some job growth and creation. So we're slowly coming back out of the recession at this point. We've dropped from a high of an unemployment rate of 9.7% in December of 2010 down to this last month 8.4%, which is still very high unemployment rate, obviously, statewide. But nevertheless, it's much better than almost 10%, which is where we were. So we're seeing some job growth. That unemployment rate is kind of the 5th straight month of gradual coming down, the unemployment rate, with employment numbers increasing now. So we've seen a little bit of a trend. It's a gradual trend, but nevertheless a positive trend of job growth and job creation. So that's encouraging. Obviously, there's lots of factors out there that impact that you don't have a lot of control of, whether it's the price of gas or whatever. But nevertheless, we're encouraged about that. Ada County's unemployment rate is 7.7%, and that's down from a high of a year ago of 9.3%. Canyon County is down to 10%, and it was 11.8%.
Wow.
So that's quite a bit higher. Treasure Valley was hit really hard in the recession. We had one of the lowest unemployment rates in the state in the valley, and when the recession happened, it really hit hard here with Micron laying off lots of folks and the ripple effect that had throughout the valley, and so it had a real negative impact. But overall, we see some growth and we see some positive things happening. Obviously, the agricultural economy is doing well this year, and you see a lot of that reflected in the Magic Valley with the dairy production there. Idaho actually is the third largest dairy producer in the country, behind California and Wisconsin now.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, so we've got Chobani that's just come in, a major cheese manufacturer in the Magic Valley, which is really exciting.
That's the big yogurt thing.
Big yogurt
yeah.
Producer, and so that's exciting, and we've got some good things happening. But overall, there's lots of positive signs moving in the right direction, so we're encouraged at this point, but we've still got a long way to go.
Do you have any projections or any?
We don't have any projections other than we think it'll be a continued slow, positive
recovery
growth at this point. That's what our projections show, but there's lots of factors that impact that either up or down that you don't
I
have
can tell you,
over.
for being, you know, a real estate broker, I'm going into my 23rd year in real estate, and I have a good friend who was telling me that in 2005 he was selling farmland to developers, and now he's selling development land to farmers. And so, you know, I mean, truly, and lots are very inexpensive. Of course, new construction is down. We are certainly seeing in our business a marked improvement over the last couple months.
Right.
So that's an encouragement. I am concerned about sustainability. That's the big word, right?
Absolutely.
How do we sustain some kind of recovery? And when you see what's going on nationally and then you look at it globally, there's some room for
there's some real concerns out there, obviously, depending on what happens with Europe, and they've been kind of teetering on potentially going back into a recession at this point with the debt crisis in Greece and other countries there. That has an impact on our economy, obviously. The Middle East situation and oil obviously has an impact. There's just lots of different variables out there that can impact Idaho. We're not immune to what goes on in the world.
That's exactly right. You know, Dwight, something that you told me a few years ago that I'll never forget is that the Department of Labor has some training programs to offer. Can you talk a little bit about that for people that might?
Thank you for asking. We have individual training help for people that have been laid off, that are dislocated from their jobs, that can be eligible for it. Individual training, normally it's short-term training that we try to get people into to get them re-skilled so they can be more competitive back into the labor force. The Labor Board still estimates that in Idaho you've got 3 job seekers for every job opening that we've got right now. So it's still a very competitive job market out there. So people with skills that they need to have are very important. And so we can help people. Obviously, we have 25 Department of Labor offices throughout the state, and we try to help people with resume development. They can register for work. They can go online, look at our job listings there. They can come down and take job search workshops to learn how to network more effectively, to write resumes, to make sure they can do good cover letters and interview well. All of those things we try to help people with that job search process.
Certainly networking, I've found in my business,
absolutely critical.
Really very important.
Very important.
Have you found that the services retail have been hard hit? I mean, where do you see medical field, retail, where do you see the jobs going?
Healthcare is the only industry that hadn't gone negative during the recession. They slowed down a lot, but they never went negative. So, and healthcare will be coming back. It's based basically on demographics. We've got an aging population and an increasing demand for health services. And so that is a field that is probably one industry that will continue to grow and has maintained its jobs through the recession. All of the other industries in the state have taken a hit, but some of them are starting to come back now, obviously, and we see some encouragement, just like you say, in the housing market. There's some positive signs there. And that's generally across the board. You see positive growth in most industries. We've seen the ag market, ag industry doing quite well this year with commodity prices, so that's encouraging for us. But overall, we have training programs specifically for individuals who've been dislocated, or if you've got low-income individuals that have barriers to employment, whether it's they need to speak better English or whatever the situation might be. We have some specific training programs, some resources to help them getting into training, to help them retool their skills so they can be more competitive. In addition to that, we have resources for businesses who are expanding. Businesses that are growing, we have dollars to help them train their new employees. And that's the only cash on the barrelhead incentive program that Idaho has for either existing or new businesses to the state to expand.
So let me understand this. Are you encouraging new businesses to open up? And
that or existing businesses to expand. Any business or businesses that qualify, I should say, for this training can apply for the Workforce Development Training Fund. And this is targeted to specific sector of businesses. Businesses that sell their service or product outside the market area are eligible for this program because it's an economic development program.
What do you mean outside the...
So local retail businesses don't qualify for this.
Okay.
But if you're selling your service or product outside the state or outside the local community, then you qualify for this program because it brings new dollars into the community and helps everybody expand.
Can you be a Buy Idaho company?
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just saying that it has to be outside of the local.
Right. They have to sell their service or product outside the local area.
Okay. All right. So now, let's just say somebody's just kind of whatever. They lost their job, and maybe they've got a little bit of savings, but not much. Can they go in and find out do they have any resources?
Now, obviously, they can apply for unemployment insurance. Specifically, that program is to help someone who's been laid off for no fault of their own. They weren't fired for cause, but they were let go because of downsizing or whatever. Then they're eligible for unemployment insurance, and they can apply either online or at one of our offices for unemployment benefits.
Now, of course, there are people like me that are self-employed, independent contractors. For any of those folks who may have their business went belly up or whatever, do you have any kind of encouraging news for them or programs or things that they can look to?
Training programs specifically, then it's on an individual basis. We have the Federal Workforce Investment Act, which is specifically geared to help people that are dislocated workers or that have low skills or low income, that have barriers to work. It's also got a program for youth, disadvantaged youth, to help them with their skills. So those categories, we have specific training programs to help with resources to get them back into some schooling, to get them skills, to get them back into the workforce.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time again, Dwight, to come. And one more time, what is the website for people that are looking for training or?
labor.idaho.gov.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for joining for Legislative Watch. I'm Elizabeth Allen Hodge, and you can find all of this information and YouTube videos of past programs at fyidaho.com.